Hey, Kevin here, Top 1 Financial Advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Boy, it was a wild day today. At one point, everything was red, everything was selling off. Tesla was down big, and it still is. Square was down pretty big, and it still is. And I mean, it was just an awful day at first, but somehow at around 3 or so, the market actually closed positive, if I'm not mistaken, unless it just turned negative again. But we've had a bad stretch of, let's call it 4, maybe 5 days. And you've got some people saying, look, this is the next crash. It's happening now. Things are terrible. Everything's red. What do I do now? This is a prime example of people panicking when you should not panic. Just last year, like almost a year to the date, February 25th, 2020, in one day, we had like the biggest loss we'd ever seen at that time since like 1987 or so. It was the worst day we'd ever seen. And then 2 weeks later, we had the best day since 1933. In fact, let me find, I don't have it up. I had a slide that brings that up directly. I'm going to try and pull it up as I stall for time and continue talking to y'all. But primarily, like, we cannot, as investors, whether you're new, whether you're old, whatever, you cannot panic because of 3 or 4 bad days, especially from what we saw last year. Last year, between now and mid-March, we lost 37% in the market, biggest drop overall since like 2008. And by the end of the year, we were still positive. Still positive after all of that. Like, again, that shows you that panicking don't pay. But also, just as I've been telling y'all this, check the tweets, check the videos. I told you about a stop loss. You could have done that if you were really worried about losing so much money. You could have did that and been fine, been totally fine. In fact, I had a trade out for, what was it, for Starbucks. And the market was down pretty big. It sold out. I lost $14. Okay. It was $14 because I had that stop loss. So if you are somebody who is prone to panic and afraid about, was this a good investment? Should I have done this? Should I not have done this? Should I get rid of Tesla? Tesla is down. That's totally up to you. But I'm telling you now, just like I told you back then, those who are going to be consistent are going to be the ones who build wealth in 2022, 2023, and so on. So you've got to be patient and stick to your strategy. And what I'm going to do right now is actually share that slide with you. I did a presentation earlier today. Maybe or maybe not. We'll do this for our email list. So you better make sure that you're on that. And I'll show you here if it's going to let me share. All right. So check this out. This was March 12th, 2020. So I said February 25th. That's when we lost $1.7 trillion. That was in the tweet that I did today. But stock market last Thursday, Dow tanks 2,300 points. Worst day since Black Monday. I think that was 1987, if I'm not mistaken. 1980s, whatever. S&P 500, bear market. Terrible day. Terrible day. Then, about 2 weeks later, was 11 days, really. Dow rebounds, March 23rd, 2020. Best day since 1933. Like, that's how quick it is between the market falling apart and the market just popping up like crazy. So you trying to jump in and jump out of stuff is not the best thing for you. And here's why. Being out of the market, the last slide shows it too, but being out of the market for just 10 of the best days can cut your performance from about 6%. If you invest in 10,000 over the past 20 years, it'd be $32,000. It really cuts it in half. We're going from 32,000 just to 16,000 by missing 10 days. That's it. And the problem is here, 7 out of 10 times, the best days, whether it's in the decade or of that year, happen right around the worst days. So you, again, trying to jump in and out of stuff and panicking when things don't look great, don't look good on you as an investor. So you got to make sure that you are relaxed and that you stick to your strategy. If you got a stop loss for trades, for things you're trying to really just kind of move and make some money pretty quickly, then have those in place if you don't trust the company. I don't have stop losses on my long-term stuff. Starbucks was a short-term thing, and I only plan on being in it for 3, maybe up to 5 weeks. That's all I was going to hold Starbucks for. I had a price target of where I wanted to go. It didn't do that. So guess what? I have my stop loss. I lost $14. Okay. It ain't the end of the world. The entire investment, I think it was only maybe a $2,000 or $3,000 investment. I'll take a $14 loss. That's fine. That is totally fine, right? So have your stop loss in place if that's your strategy, or if you're a long-term investor, it don't matter. This is a discount day for you. Come Friday, whether the market is high or low, you know what I'm doing on public. I'm putting my money in all my investments and keeping it pushing. I'm buying my index funds. I'm buying Square. Square today announced they're buying, it was like 2 hours ago, they're buying $150 billion or 150 billion. Let me double check that real quick. I want to give y'all a wrong number. I'm sorry, 170 million. That's why you have these things up to correct. They're buying $170 million worth of Bitcoin. Guess what? I've been on Square and been telling y'all about that for forever. Or not forever. Been telling y'all that since like winter 2020. I'm buying anyway. I don't care what Square does tomorrow. They had a great track record. So I'm gonna keep my process, the exact same process I had last year. I ain't changed. And neither should you. Have your strategy in place, mind your business, calm down. What happens in the day-to-day doesn't matter. You should be focused on the long term. Go back to your index funds like we were talking about. If you don't like the ups and downs, it might not be for you to invest in some of the companies you have. That's something you want to know. Also, it might not be for you to not have a stop loss there. Something to consider. All right. So calm down, come back. You're going to be okay. All right. But I just want to let you guys know, like, this is not something to panic about. You just saw this last year and you stayed consistent. Like I told you, if you kept investing, like I told you, you made a lot of money. Don't forget those lessons over the past 2 weeks. Don't do that. All right. That's it for me. Talk to you guys later. Bye.